I want to talk about a stand-up guy real quick, by the name of Baby Art. My pops, rest in peace. This is the man that raised me, and I've been really tough on him, as I should, because he was certainly tough on me. But I gotta say that for all of what he struggled with in regards to his addiction, in regards to, some of the anger that I know he was dealing with, or whatever he was going through inside of him, right? So like, you'll hear me talk about him a lot, and it may not sound so favorable how I speak to him. I'm just honest, and I have suffered and went through a lot of pain at the hands of me growing up with the father figure and role model who was suffering from a heroin addiction and suffering from other emotional or family issues, and passing that down to me. And it was a lot for me to overcome, really, to become the man I am, because I almost went totally down the wrong track. But in the same token, I believe I needed all those experiences again to make me and who I am. But what I respect a lot, though, about Baby Art, my stepfather, is he was such a stand-up guy at the end of the day. He was not perfect by any means, and he'd be the first to tell you that. But when it came down to working, holding his family down, standing up for family, protecting family, and protecting those he loved, he was always down to be a soldier. And when it came down to rules and morals of, how we play the game, he's the one that told me from the beginning that, and he was the kind of, I'm gonna say this first, he was the kind of father that if you dare came home and told on somebody or snitched on somebody, that was your ass right there. Like, we didn't play no tattletales. And so he instilled a lot of street values in us, some of which I guess aren't per se good, but again, they made me. I think a lot of them stood on integrity. And I remember the first time he found out that I was selling drugs, he said, I heard you slinging out there. He said, I'm gonna tell you this right now. You better have a $10,000 saved up, because that's gonna be your bail. You get locked up with a gun. And so he just kept it real and just kept it so G. And I remember even when I was younger, he was home on parole. He just got out of jail, and he got pulled over by the cops in Somerville, New Jersey. They pulled him out the car because they thought they had a warrant for him, but the warrant wasn't even for him. It was someone else they thought looked like him. And so, he was refusing to be arrested. He was obviously, he just got home. He's like, look, I just got home. You got the wrong guy. And so the cops strong-armed him, and he was, built and stocky. He just came home from prison. And whatever, that situation evolved in him getting arrested and locked up. And he ended up going to jail, I think, for like 3 years because of that incident. Although he was illegally stopped, illegally searched, and illegally accused, because he didn't allow himself to be arrested, they end up, violating his parole. But I will say this about him. What I respect is that he stood up for himself. He didn't plead guilty for something that he was innocent over. He actually went to trial with it. And he was just such a G, such a stand-up guy. And even while he was in jail and we were younger, they had like a woodshop program in jail. And he actually made us gifts in jail. And some of my best Christmas gifts came from that prison, where he sent home, I was really into karate and ninja stuff. He sent home some wooden Chinese stars, and he actually sent home nunchucks, right? Think about this. They actually let him make nunchucks in jail. And he sent home nunchucks to me, and they made my sister a dollhouse out of wood. And it was just, again, it wasn't the ideal life. It wasn't the Huxtable kind of family, or the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air kind of family or environment, or that kind of father. But for who he was and the environments that he grew up in, he was really a stand-up guy at the end of the day. He was someone that believed in certain principles and certain morals, and I definitely got to give him a shout out. And rest in peace, Dad. I know that he tried his best for what he had to work with, but he taught me so many invaluable lessons. I mean, he's the reason really why I'm such a stand-up guy, like why I stand by rules and principles, why I don't back down. It's because, I was raised by a man that didn't back down. Like, we don't believe in backing down. We don't believe in conceding when we're right. When we know we're right, and we stand on what's right, and that's it. And we're willing to go to war for what's right. And that's what's missing from a lot of our generation, is that no one's willing to stand up. No one's willing to take the sacrifice, take the punches, take the tough circumstances for what they believe in. And this is all part of what has made me, what's made me successful. I've always been willing and ready to stand up for myself, stand up for my family, stand up for my community, because that's what real men do. That's what real kings do. That's what real G's do. And even in all of the madness that went on with our household, what I gotta say is that what I loved about him also is that he was a hustler. He was a go-getter. He was willing to put in that work and outwork the work. And this is all part of who made me me. So shout out Pops, R.I.P.